All right, welcome to the week on inviting. So we have with our pipes, we have preparing, and then we have inviting, presenting, enrolling, and supporting. So this week we're talking about inviting. And this is a really important piece of your business because how you approach people and connect people will make a difference in whether or not you can go further down the road with that person. Because I always like to think of, the pipes thing is visual of that, is that you're putting people in your pipeline. And as you put something in your pipeline, some things come out quicker than others. I mean, there's people that I have literally, I enrolled my Uber driver once within a 20-minute conversation. I've only ever done that once. Other people, it takes usually a little bit longer. And then there's some people that will come to me and want to enroll after 5 years of me saying, hey, would you like to try oils? So you never know. So on our pipeline, the big thing is getting people into the pipeline. So that is the invite portion, or how you talk to them about the oils. So when we were talking about preparing, we talked about creating a list of people that we wanted to work with. And a lot of times we look at people on that list and you're like, man, how do I connect with that person? It's been a really long time since I've even talked to them about anything. And how would I just bring up oils without sounding fake? Well, you've got time on your side. So one thing that I like to do is, there are some people, again, that a conversation is going to start up and boom, you're talking about oils. There's other people where it may take 2 or 3 conversations, and that's okay. So I think that making sure that you're connecting with people on a daily basis is going to be your biggest thing. I enroll more people when I talk to more people. So when I go out and make friends or join different groups, or do like I'm doing a mother-daughter book club with my daughter, or meeting new people that I go to church with, meeting the neighbors, I always find more people to connect with. And as I connect with more people, there are more people that end up enrolling into doTERRA because we've talked. So what you want to do with your list is look at your list, and the way that I'm really starting to work my business is that I do an initial class for myself. If I've moved to a new area or I've just started the business, I look at the list and I just, who do I want to invite to a class right now? And then after that, after doing my initial class, because we all get to a point where it's a little bit tricky to get people to show up to classes, I start setting up one-on-ones. And then I do hosted classes. So as I'm enrolling people, I'll invite them to host, or I'll do a one-on-one with the people, if I talk to them about oils. So what I do is I take my list and I think, who could I invite right now? And I just make sure that I'm connecting with that person before I'm even going to invite them. Because the people that are more likely going to show up are the people that know, like, and trust you. And a lot of them want to support you in your business. So look at that list and think, who could I invite to a class right now? Set up a class and then make some samples to take to the person and just simply invite them to your class. I will just say, hey, I'm going to be teaching a class on essential oils, and I would love to have you there. I don't know if you've had you could ask them, have you ever tried essential oils before? And then listen to what they say. And if they say yes, then say, oh, that's so great. Are you loving them? And just ask questions that will lead them talking about more. And you may find out they're already using doTERRA, and that's great. But a lot of times you'll find out they're using a different brand. And so I'll just say, well, I'm doing a class and it'd be super fun to have you. And there's one thing I want to get up front is there's not any pressure for me to purchase anything. But when you come to my class, if you see something that you like, I'd love to have you there. You can learn about these oils. So I always like to take the pressure off without I'm not giving myself a way out. I'm giving them comfort that, if you'd like to come, we'd love to have you. Don't feel pressured to buy anything, but if you'd like to, we would love to help you. So I'll just say something really simple like that. You'll notice in the guide that they have several scripts that you can use. If it's somebody that you haven't talked to in a while and that you would just love the oils, just reconnect with them. See how they're doing. And one thing I always do is if I want them to ask me a certain question, I ask them that question. If you ask people, do you have kids? Yeah, I have 3 kids. Usually they turn right around and ask you that. So I'll say, are you working, or what are you doing? And I'm a school teacher. And then they'll ask you if you work. And that's when you can say, I sell essential oils. And then a conversation can ensue from there. I think the number one key is to asking them questions, asking them about their life. And then, when oils do come up, you can just say, yes, I sell essential oils. Have you ever tried oils before? And then just being confident, but keep things simple. Don't fire hose people. Don't drown them with information on oils. Just be confident and simple about why you like the oils. And then when you're having that conversation, I always like to have it where I invite them to either a class or a one-on-one right then and there. And in fact, that is my rule when I'm sharing a sample. So if you're thinking, oh, I want to get out and share samples, that's great. I do not share a sample. I'll say 75% of the time, I do not share a sample unless it is attached to an invitation to either an online class, an in-person class, or a one-on-one, because I don't want to just give out samples that are never going to get used. Like, I want them to come with an invitation attached. There are some people that I'm like, okay, you know what? I really want my neighbor to use oils because I know she's going to love them, and I know she's got that nasty rash on her elbow. If I just give her some Melaleuca and lavender, it would be soothing to said rash. So there's times like that yes, I will give a sample, but typically if I'm handing out a sample, it's attached to an invitation of some type, because otherwise I've found that my samples, sometimes people don't open them or they tell me I haven't had time to use them. And I really do want to be giving out samples that are going to help to invite them to the next step. So really make it about just reconnecting with people, asking them questions. And then when they ask you if you work, then you say, yeah, I'm selling essential oils. Have you ever tried them? That is a really nice way into it. I really think it's also about being authentic. I was going to say authentic and sincere with your invitation. Genuinely care about who you're talking to. Don't make it about, oh, I need to find another appointment, or I need to find a person to a class. Genuinely care about the person. I think that's one thing Cheyenne is really great at, is she cares deeply for people. And I think that is why she is so amazing at enrolling people, is they can feel that she really cares about them. And then they're more open to hearing her suggestions about things. So somebody that you already know, I literally just, if I'm doing that class, I just invite them. I just simply say, hey, I'm going to be doing an essential oil class and I would love to have you come. And then I'll ask them if they've tried them. And if they haven't, I'll say, you know what? I'd love to give you a little sample of orange that you can try before you come to my class, just so you can have an experience with it. But just invite them. Just keep it simple. Name the time, the date, the place. And you can even do something fun. You know, we're going to be making chocolates with oils this week. I thought of you because I know that you love to cook, or I know that you love chocolates, or we're doing a class this Thursday. I thought of you because I know that your son has had some respiratory difficulties, and I know that there's some oils that really support the respiratory system very well. So I thought of you. So let them know if you're thinking about them or why you're inviting them. Because I always feel excited when someone says, I am inviting you because of this reason. I always think, oh, they thought about me. They care about me. So you know, connecting people to your solutions can definitely be huge. Now, if I am just getting to know somebody, again, I just ask them lots of questions, and then oils come up. And if they show any interest at all in the oils, like, oh, I sell oils, and they're like, really? What are those? And I say, oh, they're plant-based natural solutions or remedies. And they just help with your overall health. You know, they're good for your respiratory system. They can be good for seasonal threats. If they start listing off, oh man, we've really struggled with XYZ this year, I'll say, you know, I'd love to go to get a coffee, or, you know, I don't drink coffee, but water, or, you know, with you, or go to lunch and just talk more about it with you and help you out and see if these could help. Just keep it really light, simple, low key. And it's interesting how many people are like, yeah, I love that. And people also love an invitation to do something. A lot of people want to get out and hang out. So I'll invite them to go do something with me, or I invite them to a class. So like I said, I always like to, whenever I'm talking about the oils, I always like to connect them to a presentation. You know, I think a lot of times, if you're taking time to get to know somebody, that's great, but don't take forever to invite them to a class or an event. Just, even if you're wanting to reconnect with someone and not bring up oils, then yeah, give it a few points of contact before bringing up oils, just so that people don't feel like you just reached out because you want me to support your new business. But if it's somebody that oils come up right away, my goal is always to be the next step down the road. Have them to a class, have them to an event, have them to a one-on-one. And don't sell on the fly where you're telling them everything that they need to get right then and there. Encourage a further conversation. And in fact, one thing that would be really good would be to listen to Tasha Smith's Emerge training. I have a link to that on my website that will give you, thejenoldham.com, that will just give you a preview of her training and how she sets up her appointments. But one thing she's really big on is don't sell on the fly. Set up an appointment and just say something as simple as, you know, normally what I do is set up an appointment, 30 minutes long. We can chat about oils. There's no pressure for you to buy anything at all. But if you see something you like, I'd love to help you get it. Just set up a really simple appointment. Cheyenne, do you have that training on your website as well? So Cheyenne has that on her website.
I do. It's called Don't Sell on the Fly, and it's awesome. It's really helpful. It's not like a webinar type. You can't, go on and listen to it, but it's a go as you can training that has some workbooks to go along with it, and then it gives you access to Tasha's training as well. So it's pretty awesome.
Perfect. Yeah. So I would definitely check it out because she talks about how to set up an appointment. And I will tell you the importance of getting somebody to a class or a time to actually sit down and be dedicated to doTERRA is the amount that they order is going to go up. When you try to sell on the fly, that's when they're going to buy retail because they're going to think, yeah, I'll help you. Or they don't understand the benefits of the oils and what they can do for them and the benefit of having a whole set. So how you inviting them to take a step further is going to be huge. I know a lot of people, when they first start, one thing they want to do is, and if I would have been using Facebook more when I started, I would have done the same thing, is they want to post their website and say, buy from me, I'm selling doTERRA. And that's great, but people don't know the value of the oils without talking with you first. So I think it's great to create an awareness that you are selling essential oils, but I think it's important to really make your list of 100 people and really focus on getting each and every one of those people either to a one-on-one or a class or a webinar, just so that they can learn the value of the oils. And Cheyenne is going to do next week a presentation on what to say. She's going to talk about what to say she's going to present on how to present, what to say at your appointment. But getting them to an appointment is huge. And just remember, it is as simple as saying, hey, have you ever tried essential oils before? And then listening to their answer and then just saying, I'm doing a class this Wednesday. I would love to have you. Or, let's get together and go out for hot chocolate or tea or whatever you want to drink. And then we can chat more about the oils. And I'm going to talk about you and how they can help you. I want to hear what's going on with your life and what your health goals and concerns are. So keep it so simple. I used to focus a lot on handing out samples, and I don't do that as much because I taught so many classes where people were like, oh yeah, I haven't used that yet. Or I would talk to people where they told me they didn't have time to try it. And I just thought, you know what? The reason that samples are helping me get appointments set up is they're giving me confidence. And you can have that confidence without a sample too. Cheyenne, what have you found with that?
Honestly, kind of the same thing. It just depends on, if you give samples, then if I do give samples, I make sure that I set up an appointment with the sample giving. So if I give somebody samples, I'm like, here's you some samples. When can you meet so that we can talk more about these samples that I'm giving you? And then I do the whole, if you like what you hear, then of course, I can help you purchase them. My part will take about 30 minutes. And then I just set up an appointment right on the spot when I give people samples, so that I'm not just giving people samples and then, when I give samples, there are strings attached, and people know that. I tell people that right up front. Even if I'm giving them out on Facebook, I tell people right up front, if you accept these samples from me, then you're also accepting that you're going to have a 30 to 40 minute conversation with me on the phone or on Zoom or in person. So
perfect. That's how I am. My samples come with strings attached. I don't just give them out anymore because I just always cringe when someone's like, oh, I didn't have time to use them. So there's some really good scripts that you will see in here. Now, one thing that they invite you to do is talk about inviting is doing a lifestyle overview. So that's like your wellness consult or your membership overview, whatever you want to call it. So whenever I enroll somebody, and Cheyenne will probably talk more about this next week, but one thing that I really like to do is get their wellness consult lifestyle overview set up right then and there. And I let them know, I set the expectation, when you purchase your oils or, when your oils come, I'm going to come over and we're going to talk about how to use these oils. And I would say I have a 90% rate of people who will do a wellness consult with me. And it makes all the difference in the world in them continuing on to do the business. So I love the little script that they have here that says, I want to make sure you know how to use your new products and maximize rewards. So they give you a little script you can read. So I won't read it out loud to you, but I basically I don't ask them if they want to do it. I tell them that's what I do. Just like when they give them a sample, or when you're talking about oils, I like, let's set up an appointment to talk about the oils. We can get some for you so you can stop dealing with some of those issues you were telling me about. Same thing with that lifestyle overview. When they're purchasing, I say, okay, so what we'll do is we'll meet again for about 30 minutes and we'll go over the products you just got. What's a good time? And I always find that giving them, I always like to give them 2 options of times. Do you want to meet Wednesday at 1 or Thursday after dinner? What time's better for you? So give them 2 options, and do that same thing when you're setting your appointments. So looking at these scripts will definitely be beneficial for you. And yeah, just make sure, last piece of advice, just keep your invitations simple and just be confident. The more you love the oils, the more that they're literally changing your life, the easier it is going to be to inviting other people to either events or one-on-ones, because they're going to feel your confidence and your excitement, and they're going to want to do what you're doing because they're going to see, she loves these. I want to know what's so cool about these, because this girl right over here, she loves these oils. Is there anything else, Cheyenne, you want to add?
No, I think that you've done a good job covering it.
Perfect. Awesome.
Oh, wait. I do have one thing.
Okay.
I do have one. So if I'm ever feeling anxious or worried about what people are going to think when I invite them, I just think about you.
Me?
And yes, you, Jen. Because when Jen introduced me to oils, a friend had given her a kit, and I don't think you'd really use them very much, right, Jen? She just knew how badly I needed some answers to my health. And she didn't let the fact that she knew nothing about oils stop her from telling me about oils, and that she had a friend that could help me, that could introduce me and tell me a little bit more about oils that could possibly help change my life. And that is why I'm here on this call today, is because Jen Oldham, knowing nothing about oils, had me talk to her friend, who's Teresa Harding, who could help me with oils. So even if you're feeling really scared to invite people, just think about what your life would be like if you didn't have oils, or if somebody hadn't gone out of their way and gotten out of their comfort zone to invite you to learn more about oils.
Perfect. Yep, you don't have to be an expert, that's for sure. I certainly wasn't. Cheyenne was like, how do I use this oregano? And I was like, heck if I know. But I'll let you talk to someone who does. I knew they'd be helpful for. So anyway, thank you so much for being on, and good luck with your inviting.